Cool. It's 5 minutes past scheduled start time. Hello everyone, welcome to SIG Autoscaling weekly meeting for Monday the 4th of March 2024. We have a few items already on the agenda. First things first, have a look at test grid. Slightly worse, I think, than last week. We still have the failing cluster autoscaler ones. I've not found time to look into those yet. I'm assuming.
No, unfortunately, yeah, I didn't have any time to look into them. And for some record, I think they've been failing for years at this point. I definitely have this on my radar, but I had some unexpected tasks pop up and couldn't get to it.
Worse. Cool. Yeah, and we've got a few both on HPA and VPA that are flaky at the moment, but Carpenter is looking good. And next item was from last week. Do we have Jeff this week? No. I will pop him another message on Slack. Suraj, we do not have this week. Krishna.
I am online, so I can go first. Yeah. Again, thank you very much for your help last time. The PR was escalated and it was merged. So we went through significant testing to find out if that would fix our problem. And based on our observations, it appears that the particular PR is not going to fix our issue. The reason being is I wanted to take your input on this. So there are two PRs I attached. So the PR we merged was outcome of this discussion only. So basically what's happening in our, based on our observations was the ASG fails to provision the instance, and it is going back and setting the desired capacity. That's when it is actually leading to terminating terminating a random instance, because the cluster autoscaler cluster autoscaler trying to provision through ASG the desired number of instances, and the ASG is going to fail with the insufficient capacity, and it gets immediately assigned with the set desired capacity. So that's what it is causing the unsafe termination of a random node. So what I was looking at was, if you look at the PR 5829, I think, or 5846, let me open. One of the PR basically that would be 5846. If you would look into 5846, the PR basically simply ignoring the desired capacity when there is a placeholder instance. Right, so that's what we wanted to avoid. Instead of setting the desired capacity to the value we want, instead we wanted to terminate the node by name. So that way you're terminating the node that is from the placeholder instead of a random node from ESG. So any thoughts on this? How we can track and terminate the node by name instead of blindly going there and setting up the desired capacity?
I think I have something. I think I have similar thoughts and concerns. Jesse has commented on the PR of, if we're simply removing it from the cache, we effectively end up leaving requests for compute capacity hanging around, and that potentially results in a place where at some point in the future, we suddenly get new nodes, and depending on the settings of a given user's cluster autoscaler, those nodes may hang around for an extended period of time, and therefore they may end up overpaying for compute, with all the negative consequences there. So I need to dig a bit more into what the knock-on effects of that would be, but that's my initial naive reading of it. If there are risks in doing that.
Got it. Yeah, what I'm thinking of is, right, because you have two different processes. One is ASG doing its job. So the minute we see the error from CA, I think we're going to go back and set the desired capacity, assuming that the ASG failed to allocate the instance, right, because of the insufficient capacity. But ASG, on the other hand, there is a pending request provisioning the compute. That's leading to placeholder instance at the end. So if we can, perhaps, I don't know how to streamline the process. So that's why I was looking for inputs. Is there any better way to handle this? Not to lead situation into a placeholder to begin with. And if we do, by any chance, if there is a risk condition, is there any way to track down the placeholder instance to a name of the compute that's provisioned by ASG and terminate only the name? So that way we're not terminating randomly where we have production workload is running.
I need to refresh my memory as to why we initially implemented placeholder instances on AWS. I know I was involved in some of the code, but I cannot remember off the top of my head, to be honest. There was a specific problem that we were trying to solve, so just backing away from placeholder instances unless we can make sure that ensure that either on the AWS side or on the cluster autoscaler it's not actually a problem anymore. I'd be wary of and making a fairly big change in the behavior there. Nico?
Yeah, I don't know the placeholder instance mechanisms that well, but like, is there a way to detect them such that you could like add the annotation to have the autoscaler prefer to like remove those instances or something like? Or is that already
so if I like these placeholder instances are an AWS cloud provider specific thing, and they're basically created when we scale up as part of the cache whilst we wait for AWS to provision, and then effectively once an actual instance comes up, we purge the placeholder out and bring in. So they don't actually exist on the AWS side until they do,
right.
because of that latency between the ASG as the controller of things. I need to go and familiarize myself with the code again, before I'd be confident in saying either way.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it sounds complicated.
Got it. I mean, do you want to take up this topic to the next week so it will give you time to look back into the code to see if there are any better alternate ways?
Yeah, let's keep it on the schedule for next week, and we can discuss again once I've had a look at the code and reminded myself what I wrote
very much.
a couple of years ago.
Thank you.
Is there anything else anyone check the agenda again? No, there's nothing else on the agenda. Is there anything else anyone wants to raise this week?
Yeah, I'm seeing that Luis is on the call, so I guess I take the opportunity to ask about another VPA release.
That's right. This is something that I was going to mention as well. Yeah, thanks for fixing the test, Marco. Yeah, so we were finally unblocked to do this release. So yeah, if you just do it.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. I guess, I mean, Jet's on the call and can talk about it more, but as follow-up, I think I posted in Slack at the end of last week, first cut of the Azure Cloud Provider ETE tests, for those who might be interested in that.
Thanks, Guy.
Anything on that or anything else anyone wants to raise? I shall take that as no. Thanks very much, everyone, for attending. See you next week.
Thanks, yeah.
Thanks, Guy.